In the quiet, shaded upper room of a royal summer palace, two men stand alone. One is an exceptionally powerful king, a man whose word can move armies. The other is a messenger, bearing what he claims is a secret word from God. The guards outside have already searched the messenger, patting down his left side where any right-handed warrior would carry a blade. They found nothing. But as the king leans in to hear the secret, the messenger reaches not with his right hand, but with his left. From his right thigh, hidden beneath his robes, he draws a double-edged sword. In a single, silent motion, the course of a nation's history is changed by the one thing the king's security failed to imagine: a left-handed assassin. To understand the world of Ehud, we must look at the turbulent era of the Judges. According to the Book of Judges, this was a time before Israel had kings, a period marked by a recurring cycle of rebellion, foreign oppression, and the rise of local deliverers. For 18 years, the Israelites had lived under the heavy hand of Eglon, the king of Moab. As we read in chapter 3, Eglon had formed an alliance with the Ammonites and the Amalekites, successfully capturing Jericho, the city of palms. The Israelites were forced to pay a hefty tribute, a form of taxation that drained the wealth of the land and served as a constant, humiliating reminder of their subjection. It was in this climate of desperate resentment that a man named Ehud, the son of Jerah, began to formulate a plan. Ehud was a member of the tribe of Benjamin. The scriptures make a specific note of a physical detail that would become the linchpin of his mission. He was left-handed. In the ancient world, being left-handed was often viewed as a curiosity or even a restriction, as military training was almost universally designed for right-handed combatants. As we are told in Judges chapter 3, verse 15, the Israelites chose Ehud to take the tribute money to King Eglon. Before he set out, Ehud crafted a special weapon, a double-edged sword about 45 centimeters long. He strapped it to his right thigh, concealed under his clothes, knowing that any guard performing a routine search would instinctively check the left hip. Ehud arrived at the palace and presented the tribute. We are given a brief but vivid description of Eglon in the text. He is described as an extremely fat man. Once the ceremony of the tribute was finished, Ehud started on his way home with his companions. But at the stone carvings near Gilgal, he turned back. He returned to the palace alone and told the king, "I have a secret message for you, your majesty." Seeking privacy, the king dismissed his servants. The two men were left alone in the king's cool rooftop chamber. It is a moment of high tension. Ehud is deep within enemy territory, surrounded by the king's guard, with only a hidden blade and a few seconds of opportunity. The turning point occurs when the king rises from his throne to hear the divine message. According to chapter 3, verses 21 and 22, Ehud reached out with his left hand, drew the sword from his right hip, and plunged it into the king's belly. The account is stark and visceral. Because of the king's size, the blade sank in completely, and the fat closed over the handle. Ehud did not stop to retrieve the weapon. Instead, he calmly walked out onto the porch, locked the doors of the room behind him, and made his escape through the ventilation passage. For a long time, the king's servants waited outside. They saw the doors were locked and assumed the king was relieving himself. Their hesitation, born from royal protocol and a desire to not offend, gave Ehud the lead he needed. By the time they grew concerned enough to find a key and open the door, they found their master dead on the floor. Ehud was already long gone. Ehud's story concludes with a swift military victory. He escaped to the hill country of Ephraim, sounded the trumpet, and led the Israelites to seize the fords of the Jordan River. 10,000 Moabite soldiers were killed, and the land enjoyed peace for 80 years. When we reflect on this narrative, we see a story that is as much about human ingenuity as it is about national liberation. The historian notes that Ehud used what others might have seen as a limitation, his left-handedness, to his absolute advantage. He turned a tactical blind spot into a masterstroke of subversion. There is a quiet, profound lesson here about the nature of those who are called to lead.
The story of Ehud suggests that the most effective tools are not always the most obvious ones. Sometimes, history is moved forward by those who exist on the margins, those who don't fit the standard mold of a hero. It reminds us that there is a unique purpose in our differences. What the world might overlook or even consider a disadvantage can become the very thing that provides a way forward. Ehud's legacy is not just in the peace he secured, but in the enduring idea that greatness often arrives from an unexpected direction, and sometimes it arrives with its left hand.
If you enjoyed this story, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. There are many more stories from Scripture over Tea still to explore. You can also turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if this story meant something to you, feel free to share it with someone else. Thank you for listening.